All right, let's talk 7 seconds. Seriously, what can you really do in that time? Maybe, like, find your keys.
If you're lucky.
Right, or send a text that autocorrect just messes up anyway. But what if I told you that same little slice of time, that's potentially all it takes to nudge someone towards a yes? We're not talking long debates here. Today, we're going to dive into 5 methods to persuade anyone in 7 seconds. Basically, unlocking instant agreement with some super fast psychology. Let's jump in.
Yeah, what we found digging into this is pretty striking. It seems tiny shifts in how you say something, just a few words, can really tap into these deep, almost like automatic human responses.
Okay, automatic responses. Let's unpack that with the first method. This one feels really visceral. Picture being in a super crowded place, right? Like a packed train, maybe.
Okay.
And you need to get through. Just saying, excuse me, often, well, doesn't do much. But our findings suggest saying something like, careful, hot water, or hot soup coming through. Suddenly, people move. Why that difference?
Well, it appears our brains are just fundamentally wired to prioritize avoiding, immediate danger over simple politeness or making things convenient for someone else.
Right.
What we're seeing is the power of loss aversion combined with real urgency. A polite, excuse me, involves thinking, should I? Do I want to? Is it worth it? But hot water? That hits a primal button.
Ah, like a reflex.
Exactly. It's, oh no, potential pain.
Yeah.
You're basically appealing straight to self-preservation, kind of bypassing the slower, more rational part of the brain. It's about stopping something bad from happening to them right now.
So you trigger a survival instinct instantly. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Method 2 is different, though. It's more about how you frame a choice, like offering someone a drink. Ask, want something to drink? And often you just get, I'm good. But the research indicates if you asked, hey, would you prefer coconut water or lemonade? They're way more likely to actually pick one.
Precisely. We found that giving limited options does something interesting. It shifts the person's brain from a yes-no footing to a which one footing. You're not really asking if they want a drink anymore, which is an easy out.
Yeah.
You're subtly making them decide which drink. It's like you've skipped past the first yes and gone straight to the negotiation over flavor. It's the same psychology retailers sometimes use, buy 2, get 1 free can sound better than a straight discount, even if it costs the same. You're just packaging the decision differently. It's a bit like asking your partner, what to load the dishwasher or hand wash the pots instead of just, are you going to help with the dishes?
Yeah, one of those definitely gets a better reaction. Okay, method 3. This one moves away from logic or fear more into feelings. The classic example that came up was the blind beggar's sign. I cannot see anything. Didn't get much response. But then someone added, spring has arrived, and suddenly donations shot up.
What's really going on there, it appears, is the power of emotional contrast. Just those few extra words create it. By putting the beauty and joy of spring, something most people can easily picture and feel, right next to the beggar's inability to experience it, you spark instant empathy. Evidence points to people being far more motivated to act when that feeling of compassion is triggered. Makes the situation relatable, makes you feel their loss.
It paints a picture, doesn't it? A really vivid, emotional one. Okay, method 4. This uses framing again, but maybe a bit more strategically. The old kid trick, can I watch TV while I do my homework? Usually gets a no.
Right.
But asking, can I do my homework while I watch TV? That often works.
Yeah, this seems to leverage cognitive framing and contrast. By positioning the less fun thing, the homework, as sort of the background or condition for the fun thing, the TV, it makes it feel different.
Different how?
It's not homework interrupting TV time. It's more like homework is just part of the TV package deal. You're bundling the chore with a reward.
Yeah.
It feels less like a burden on its own and more like, the small price you pay for the main event. Positioning the downside as the means to the upside.
That tiny switch in wording flips the whole thing psychologically. Wow. Okay, finally, method 5. This one seems almost too simple. It uses, reciprocity? Or just breaking a pattern?
Something like that, yeah.
Think about flyer distributors. People just walk past, ignore them. But the findings highlighted this odd tactic. If the person asks, excuse me, could you help me throw this one away? Suddenly, people nearby are more likely to actually take a flyer.
That's kind of weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it appears asking for that tiny, super easy favor, something that actually helps them disarms people a bit.
How?
It might be a subtle foot in the door thing. Getting that first micro yes, even to something trivial like tossing a flyer, breaks that automatic ignore or no pattern. It creates this tiny moment of cooperation.
Okay.
And that little moment seems to make people slightly more open to the real request, which was just taking the flyer anyway. You get them leaning in just a tiny bit, and maybe the next step feels easier. It's unexpected.
It really is incredible how these, tiny adjustments in language can have such a big impact so quickly, almost instantly.
Absolutely. And if we sort of zoom out from these examples, from everything we look at, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How much of your daily life, your interactions, are shaped by these super fast psychological nudges? And maybe more pointedly for you listening, how often are they being used on you without you even noticing? It's worth thinking about where you see these things happening, or maybe where you could, be more aware.